My journey begins before YouTube was ever even a thing. I look back on my videos from 5 years ago and I cringe until my face. Dude, there is no strategy. I just chase whatever I like. The thing that I say is like I never signed up to make thumbnails. I want to make videos. The only thing that really hurt your channel is if you
That's Mike, and I wanted to sit down and ask him some questions because I found his channel completely by accident. You see, I just got done watching a video from Curtis Connor. He has over 5 million subscribers on YouTube, and he's just one of my favorite commentary channels. Immediately after watching that video, I get pushed another video that I hadn't seen before with Curtis's face on it. Well, turns out that video lived on Mike's channel, and at the time of me finding it, he had about 5,000 subscribers. So naturally, I had a bunch of questions. Number one, why is he not more popular? He seems to really have this down to a science at this point when it comes to making videos. Number two, unless they're like really good friends, how do you land an interview with a channel that is that much larger than your own? But most importantly, number three, where do you go from here? Because unless you're going to just interview really massive channels all the time, are you just kind of doomed after this? Is this your one viral moment ever? What Mike shared with me though wasn't just fascinating, it was really inspiring. Mike certainly knows about the YouTube algorithm and he does think about it, but what I gathered after speaking to him is that he's certainly not playing by its rules. Mike is making content he's passionate about, content that he loves, and honestly, that's what I want for myself and all of you. So I'm gonna let him speak now, and I do hope you find this as inspiring as I did. Take us back to the very start of your channel. What inspired you to start YouTube?
my journey begins before YouTube was ever even a thing. I was probably maybe 7 or 8 years old, and I don't know the whole context of this, but I just remember my dad and I were on the internet doing something, and somehow we stumbled across some video, and it was a Lego stop motion animation. My dad must have seen the look on my face because he was like, "Oh, we could do that," and
Yeah.
I'm like, "What are you magic? Because I'm not magic. I can't make Legos come to life, Dad." And he was like, "No, it's just a bunch of photos, just that play back really fast." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I think like one birthday or Christmas later, I had a SpongeBob set, and like there were a lot of times where I would just take the pictures of like a stop motion, but then I wouldn't like edit it or anything. I just like taking the pictures because I was like 7 or 8. Fast forward a couple years, and then YouTube came around, and I had gotten into editing at that point, and I was like, "Hey Dad, can I like upload my videos to this YouTube website?" And he was like, "This is how long ago it was." He was like, "Yeah, I couldn't get it to work, but if you want to try posting to YouTube, then yeah, you can." And I was like, "Okay." That's all on a channel that will never see the light of day, and I will never speak
Oh.
of again because I was
I have one of
so
those.
young. I think we all have one of those. I think if you're
Yeah.
past the age of 20, then you have that one embarrassing channel from when you were young. So I posted on there for a long time, and I just picked up Lego stop motion and just never really put it down. I got to the point where I kind of wanted to infuse myself and my own personality a little bit more, and so then I started mixing these story time videos that I had seen. Like I took inspiration from like Odd Ones Out and Ice Cream Sandwich, cute little animations, and they just tell like a personal story. And I was like, well, I don't think anyone's ever done that for Lego stop motion before. And so I just kind of started doing that, and I do a little bit of commentary on the side and some goofy sketches with my friends and stuff like that. And here we are.
We noticed that it was like there was a point where it felt like you kind of started to take YouTube like extra serious.
Yeah, I definitely had a mentality switch. For one thing, YouTube started to get more and more as a viable career option for just anyone. It wasn't just the PewDiePies and the Mr. Beasts of the world. I'm starting young up until maybe I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was fascinated by YouTube and I was uploading on YouTube and I loved it and everything. But in the back of my mind, it was like, this is cool for now, but like I want to make movies and TV shows. And so everything before that period where I wasn't doing anything, that was when YouTube was a side thing. And I was like, I want to make movies, maybe write and direct and stuff like that. I was being an extra a lot in movies and
Oh
TV
wow.
at the time. I was pulling like 14-hour days, 2 days in a row. And while I was there, and I was just a lowly PA, which if you don't know, that's a production assistant. It's the lowest of the lowest job you can have on any production. And while I was there, the producer, like apropos of nothing, totally unprompted, just like turned to me and was like, I've been in this business for 26 years and I don't have a dollar in savings."
Oh.
And I was like,
Huh.
"Well, some would say this is not a very good job to be in then."
No.
So that initially got me thinking about it. And then maybe a year or two later, I got to chatting with this guy. He was a camera operator for like 18 years. And I told him like, yeah, I wanted to be in the traditional media for a long time, but lately I've been thinking about just like going all in on YouTube. And he looked at me and goes, "There's a lot more money in that." And I was like, well, now maybe it's time to reevaluate a little bit. From then on, I don't know, just between those two things happening around 2020, So this is fun. I haven't told anyone this. Around 2020, actually, I know the exact date. April 11th, 2020, I uploaded my million subscriber special. And ever since
Sorry.
then, it's been, yes, ever since then, it's been on unlisted. And I made it when I had 411 subscribers.
Oh wow.
And it was a way for me to be like, okay, like I'm uploading this because I'm going to hit this milestone. And like I'm going to do it starting now. I'm going to take it seriously.
Wow.
And so that was kind of my little reawakening, I guess you could say, my little personal renaissance moment. And I look back on my videos from 5 years ago, and I cringe until my face collapses in on itself. But that's what you're supposed to do, right? If you're not cringing at your old stuff, then that means you're not getting any better over time. So
I think like the natural next question, you are at the time of recording this, you are at 6,670 odd subscribers. And when I saw your video, you were at 5,000 something odd subscribers. So I feel like you've jumped up by like over 1,000 subscribers since I watched that. The growth feels like it's coming in fast.
yep.
I don't know when you posted this, but because YouTube is bad about showing me dates on this, but you even posted a short saying you just got monetized. When was that?
Hello, friends. Mike Crocker here. I wanted to jump on here real quick and say a pretty big announcement. As of today, I am a YouTube partner. I posted that I think a week ago now.
Okay, so very recently,
Yeah, very
you hit
recent.
monetization. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How, as an unmonetized YouTuber, do you go about networking with other creators like that are in like the millions of subscribers at this point?
Well, that's the million subscriber question, isn't it?
Okay,
In a
hold
way.
Okay, there we go.
I think self-awareness is really important when you're a YouTuber. I think part of being self-aware is knowing when to be humble and when to like show off a little bit. So with that being said, I know that what I'm doing is pretty unique. Like animated story times are nothing new. Like my inspirations were other storytime animators, but no one has ever done it in Lego stop motion animation. Still, right now, I've seen one other guy that does 3D Lego stuff, but that's a whole other can of worms. That is not stop motion. That is 3D. That is something else. So I knew that I had this. I was doing this thing that was pretty unique, and people are drawn to things that are unique. And so I figured if I could just get the attention of someone like Scott Kramer or Curtis Connor or Eric Striffler, they would also think like those are the kind of people that can appreciate something that is really unique. And that's where I started thinking about like value prop. Okay, what is in it for them to come on my channel and like give me the time of day? Like essentially someone who's nobody. I thought to myself like, well, we all have those memories that are very near and dear to us, and if there's an opportunity for an artist to be like, hey, like I want to take like your personal memory and like put my own artistic spin on it and show it in a really unique way, like would that be of interest to you? I think most people would be like, hell yeah, that's interesting. That's so cool. And all I have to do is sit there for 30 minutes and tell the story. Like, yeah, let's go. And so I think that's what really sold Curtis and everyone else that I've had on is like 30 minutes, you get your story told in a really unique way.
That is really, really cool. How long did that video take you to like get to from start to finish?
This was nice enough to come onto my little channel here and tell the story of some textbook tomfoolery from his teenage years. And then I went in and gave it some more life via Lego stop motion animation. I did all the math. Because check this out, man. So here's my little studio setup, right? And you see that big iMac there, which is now blurred out. Found the iMac at a dumpster, but it works great, and it now just kind of serves. Yeah, I know, right? And now it just kind of serves as my Netflix machine. So whenever I'm over there working, I always have that on, and I'm always watching something. It's always something I've seen before, so I don't get too honed into what I'm watching, so I can keep working. And I went back and made a tally of everything that I watched while I was building all the sets for it, and while I was actually shooting it, and it took me 155 and a half hours.
Wow. That's just the Lego portion we're talking about.
That's just the Lego portion. That's not pre-production and that's not post-production.
So yeah, you still have to like come up with like, who am I even going to talk to? You're waiting on them to reply. You sit down, you actually record with them. And then, yeah, you have to edit everything too. Oh my gosh. Did you use a camera, like one of those little ones that's on a stick? Because you had like little Lego minifigures as well. Like it zooms out and there's two people standing there. So you can't use a phone. or anything? Like,
No.
what do you use for that?
I use my Sony A7 III, which you're looking at right now. And then for that shot, I use this baby.
Okay,
So
this is
this
what
is
I
a,
thought.
yeah, Probe lens. Yep. So that's how I was able to get it through the two little double doors. And I love this thing, man. It was the best $1,500 I've ever spent. You can get such unique perspectives with a good old probe lens.
What would you say to somebody who wants to make this kind of intricate, maybe stop motion kind of content, but does not have $1,500 for a lens?
I would say start the way that you would start any YouTube channel. Like use your phone. There's so many stop motion apps for your phone. You can. I've seen people build like a little Lego insert so that their phone like stays upright. I mean, I started off with just like a point and shoot digital camera from like 2006 or something. You just have to dabble in it and figure out if you even like it or not, because some people it just takes way too long. Like the most common question I get is how long does it take, and then it's always followed up with, wow, that must take a lot of patience, and it does. So yeah, you have to have an inherent patience, or at least a willingness to become patient, and shoot at 10 frames per second starting out. Make it really wonky. It doesn't matter. Just love it first, and then take it from there, if that makes sense.
Is Lego stop motion uh, in any capacity like the only type of content you are making, or are you doing some other stuff on your channel as well?
The Lego stop motion stuff is definitely the bread and butter. It's the thing that I think keeps uh, people coming back. But because they take so long, I've been trying so hard to find a good system for, like, I probably shouldn't call them this, but filler videos. And that's like me, sitting at my desk or on the sofa with my fiance, and we like, we'll look at like stupid listings on Zillow and just try to have a laugh, or like watch a bad movie, something like that, like the crux of commentary stuff. And then I really like making sketches too. Yeah, I do a variety of things, and I'm trying to cultivate a little thing where it's like obviously the stop motion will always be like the cool stuff. I mean, the channel's called Mike Crocker, so I'm trying to
Right.
as attention hoary as this sounds, like center it around me. So
I'm genuinely asking, and I don't know the answer to this myself. No one, I guess, no one should claim they know the answer to this. But do you feel like channels like Curtis's, where he can take a month to make a video, do you feel like that opportunity is there for channels more of your size, where you don't have to make things that you feel like are filler?
no, I definitely think there's a way to do it where you can take a month to make something. Like there are some people that I really really enjoy, like Nakey Jakey, Eddie Burback, people like that. I swear they remember once a quarter that they have a YouTube channel and that they should
Yeah.
upload. And that's not like it's not like a jab or anything, but it's just funny how they upload like 4 times a year, and every time they get like minimum million views or whatever. So there's definitely a way to make it. And if I wanted to go really hard just in Lego stop motion, then I'd probably have maybe a little bit better success. But I'm just so ADHD, and I have to. I just crave variety. Like I couldn't make just the same kind of thing over and over again. So that's part of why I do other stuff as well.
Do you feel like the videos that don't do as well as, say, a Curtis Connor interview hurt your channel in any way?
I don't know if they hurt my channel. They just kind of hurts my ego a little bit, and that's about it. I also think that like either like a video does well and it helps your channel, or a video doesn't do well and then it just kind of stays where it's at, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. But I don't think anything is really going to hurt your. The only thing that really hurt your channel is if you take a huge departure from what you've been uploading, or you say some things that are questionable or something like that. But besides that, if a video like flops, then it doesn't hurt your channel, it just doesn't help it, if that makes sense.
That's exactly what I believe as well. I wouldn't want anyone to watch this and feel like I can't test things. I have to
Hmm.
stay on this one little train. And I don't think, like, when you look at some of the biggest channels on YouTube, I don't think they got to where they are by staying with one little tiny thing and never branching out, and even in small ways, like just at least tweaking their format, or if not adding new formats to their channel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if someone could watch a Mike Crocker video and it feels like it's coming from me, then that could theoretically work, if that makes sense.
What would you say is the biggest hurdle that you've had to overcome?
Oh my god, dude, these pesky bills, rent. Ugh, don't even get me started on the bills, Dan.
That's
Dude,
Yeah, that's
up in,
fair.
up until like 2 minutes of us having this interview, I was working on freelance stuff. I'm doing some stuff for Home Depot, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
It pays me well. It's a nice work-life balance, but oh my god, I would just rather not do it at all and just focus on my channel. But like in all seriousness, like the work life is really hard. Like this is when you start a YouTube channel and to the capacity that like someone like myself or you and or anyone that wants to make a career out of it, you have to treat it like a business and you have to work that business in around your daily life. And that's, taking on a regular job, but that's also like a social life. Like I refuse to be one of those people that locks themselves in a shed for like 3 years to work on their business and like isolates themselves. Like I love my friends too much and like I don't want to wake up in 5 years and not have any. So just a balance, man. It's so hard, and sometimes I'll have periods where like I lock in like extra hard for like a week, and then sometimes I'm just like I don't even want to see a camera for the next week. It is chill time. So
I feel that. I'm going to ask you a question because I think this is something you're really good at, but I don't know if you've heard this term before. So I'm just going to be cheeky and say, how important is primal branding for you?
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, so you're doing it right now. I've noticed this microphone
Oh,
you're
I'm big
holding.
now. Oh,
This is
yeah.
that
Okay.
is that is primal branding. That is just something that people in your community have probably noticed. I have to imagine someone's mentioned it in your comments. I've probably noticed
Yeah,
this
yeah.
tiny little blue microphone.
Yeah. I have this blue one. My fiance has a pink one whenever she's on, same size and shape and everything.
I love that. Was that part of your strategy, or do you think, oh, this is just a little gag?
I was just a little gag. Dude, there is no
It's
strategy. I just chase whatever I like and whatever I think is funny. Some things stick and some things don't. This is just one thing that stuck. I don't know. You gotta. It just goes back to experimenting and just following your instincts and everything. It's funny because when I was earlier in my journey, I was seeking like more advice, and now I'm kind of at the point where like I just need to, like I said, follow my instincts more. And I was on like YouTuber advice subreddits and everything. I would post videos for people to like critique and like review and stuff like that. And something that a lot of people would say is that like I think a critique for me is like the little microphone is like cute, but it's kind of distracting. I would nix that. People said that all the time, and I'm just
oh,
like,
they're
hell
so
no,
wrong.
dude.
They're so
Yeah,
wrong.
it's funny, right?
It feels like when you do stuff like hold the tiny blue microphone, I only need to watch one of your videos to kind of get the sense that, oh, that's like a regular thing, you know? And now I'm paying more attention. Like I'm starting to look for other quirks and things with this new channel I just discovered. And like what else, what other signatures do they have, you know?
Mm,
And for us,
interesting.
like Rob Wilson here on this channel, like got really into primal branding. And so he decided to get these like blue glasses. Like
I
he's like,
know, dude. I watched the video you guys uploaded today about tags, and it's funny you mentioned that because I've always noticed that he wore those, but specifically today, I locked in on those glasses, and I was like, Rob always wears those blue glasses, and
that's
it's like just
exactly
like you
it.
said, it was primal branding. I didn't even realize it was working on me.
It's just, yeah, you just start to get a better sense of the person in front of the camera. With so much to learn about YouTube and all the frustrations that come with that, I wanted to ask Mike how he continues to stay motivated and stay on track without just kind of deciding to give up.
Having a support system is really, 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 really a big thing.
Mm.
I'm in a Discord server with a bunch of other smaller YouTubers. Some of them aren't so small now. We're in this Discord server like every day, just yapping about like our analytics, ideas, like all kinds of stuff. And we've been having it going for 2 years now, and it just helps so much just to have someone to just yap at about this stuff. I mentioned her a couple of times. My fiance Lauren, when we first started and dating and everything, like she just embraced immediately that I'm a YouTuber and that's what I want to do and everything. And sometimes like I think we all get down on ourselves sometimes, and no matter how confident you are. And there have been times where like I'll be like, hey, let me ask you, do you really think I can do this? And she's like, it's not even that I think you can do it, I just know that you're going to one day. And so that just really, that compounding effect really really helps just from having a good support system. That's my one big piece of advice.
Yeah, that is excellent advice. I've seen it work the other way. I've been in just discords. It was like anti-support. It was mostly just venting, and it will
Get
bring
me
you
out of
down.
there.
Yeah, it will thrash you. It will make you feel this is why, like, I think subreddits and stuff can be really helpful for like getting information and things like that. But if you spend too much time in spaces that kind of like go the negative when it comes to this stuff, I can speak from experience. It will make you feel negative about the thing that you are passionate about
Yep.
otherwise.
Yep.
And I know it might sound a little bit hokey, but like believing in yourself and being
Yeah.
around people that believe in themselves,
Yes.
like, you will manifest that success. It will
Yep.
just
Yep.
happen because you are not worrying about just hating whatever it is that isn't working, or just you being down. Like you mentioned earlier, you post something on your channel, it doesn't do well, it doesn't mean it hurt. It just means, yeah, okay, it didn't move the needle forward, but it's not like the needle like an anchor hits it and it falls through the
Yeah.
floor.
Yeah. And
And
sometimes seeing that 10 out of 10 on studio, it can feel like that, but that doesn't mean that that is what's happening.
it's
Yeah.
it's more or less, it can be a learning opportunity. I know when I
Mhm.
see 10 out of 10, I'm not in a learning mood. I'm I'm in a leave me
Yeah.
alone mood.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think a lot of people look at it as like a toxic thing, but I think if you could take a step back from it, you start to look at your stuff more objectively. This is just a system that's looking at your video and going like, yeah, and it gives you hints. It's like, this is kind of the problem
Yeah.
with this video. Not as many regular viewers are watching it,
I've
and it's
learned a
like, what
lot
does
from 10
that
out of
mean?
10s.
The YouTube algorithm is really big and it's always changing, but so is the platform of YouTube as a whole and people's perception of it. And what this did was send us down a completely different rabbit hole during our conversation, and it really came down to kind of the future of YouTube for all of us.
YouTube TM has been talking more about viewer satisfaction
Mm,
versus like watch time and all these other metrics. Because like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that is the most important thing. Is like, is the viewer satisfied by watching the video, whether that's a 5 second video or a 5 hour video? Like it's so subjective.
yeah. I'm hearing through the grapevine that like more and more people are canceling Netflix and YouTube is becoming like the streaming service. That speaks to the satisfaction part, because if we are going to, as YouTubers, compete with a juggernaut like Netflix at the end of the day, if people are sitting down and choosing to watch us versus something that's like a billion-dollar production,
Yeah.
then you need to be making satisfying content, because now you're not competing with the channel next door, you're competing with Netflix. You're competing
Right.
with HBO. And that might sound silly, but it's literally true for the average person in their living room, especially if you are watching the bank right now and you're making sure that like you can afford everything. Like, how many streaming services do I really have? I'm kind of watching YouTube
Mm,
more right now. So
yeah.
maybe I will wait for my Netflix shows to stack up a bit. I'm gonna cancel Netflix right now. Like, that's not a far leap to, okay, now what do I watch? Oh, well, my Crocker just put out a new video and I happen to be eating lunch. So I'll watch this with lunch. It's
Yep.
it is literally, we all have a finite amount of time, right, in the day, and it's literally your 15-minute video. It's either that or half of a Netflix show, and your video is going to offer a complete experience. And if you really care about it and you're putting your best foot forward, suddenly you became that person's watch for the day instead of
Mm-hmm.
the Netflix show, instead
Yep.
of whatever was on TV.
And anytime someone watches YouTube on your TV, that means they're not watching Netflix or HBO on TV. So they should be very worried.
Now, Mike's channel is certainly growing quickly, but there's another channel we talked about recently that had a lot less videos and has grown even faster. That story is right here. Enjoy.